You probably think your attention span is getting worse, that social media broke your brain, that your phone is a problem. But what if none of that is true? What if the real reason you can't sit still has been inside you for hundreds of thousands of years? And modern technology isn't creating the problem, it's exploiting it. Right now, somewhere within arm's reach, your phone is waiting for you. Maybe it's in your pocket, maybe it's on your desk, maybe you've already checked it once since this video started. Most people do. The average person touches their phone thousands of times every week. Some estimates suggest we check it nearly 100 times per day. And most explanations for this behaviour sound pretty simple. Tech companies made apps addictive. Notifications hijack your attention. Algorithms keep you scrolling. All of that is true. But that's only half the story, because none of those systems would work if your brain wasn't already vulnerable to them. And to understand why, we have to go back long before smartphones, long before the internet, long before civilization itself. For almost all of human history, sitting still was dangerous. Think about this. Your ancestors did not live in stable environments. They lived in a world where a missed detail could kill you. A rustle in the grass might be a predator, a distant sound might be another tribe. A strange smell could mean food or danger. The humans who constantly scanned their surroundings survived more often than the humans who didn't. And over thousands of generations, natural selection rewarded a particular trait. Restlessness. We often think of attention as the ability to focus, but from an evolutionary perspective, attention was originally designed to notice change. A human who stared at one thing for hours was not useful. A human who constantly monitored the environment was. Your brain evolved to ask a simple question. What changed? And then ask it again, and again, and again. The modern world didn't invent this instinct, it simply found a way to trigger it endlessly. But here's what's fascinating. Scientists have actually tested what happens when humans are left alone with nothing to do. In 2014, psychologist Timothy Wilson and his colleagues at the University of Virginia conducted a series of experiments that produced an unexpected result. Participants were placed in a room with no phones, no books, no entertainment, nothing to distract them. Their only task was to sit quietly with their own thoughts for a short period of time. Most people assumed this would be easy. It wasn't. Many participants reported that they found the experience surprisingly unpleasant. Some struggled to remain seated, others became restless within minutes, and then something strange happened. Before entering the room, participants had experienced a mild electric shock and were asked whether they would pay money to avoid receiving it again. Most said yes, yet when left alone with their thoughts, a significant number voluntarily shocked themselves. One participant shocked himself repeatedly. Think about that. People preferred physical discomfort to doing nothing. The researchers weren't studying technology. Smartphones weren't involved. Social media wasn't involved. The behaviour appeared anyway, because the urge to seek stimulation was already there. Technology simply gives it somewhere to go. And then something else happened. Human history changed. Around 12,000 years ago, agriculture emerged. For the first time, large numbers of people began living in permanent settlements. The environment became more predictable, food became more stable, life became less dependent on constantly scanning the horizon. But evolution moves slowly, very slowly. 12,000 years sounds like a long time. In evolutionary terms, it's almost nothing. Your body has changed, your environment has changed, but much of your brain is still operating according to rules written long before cities existed. Which creates a problem. Your brain evolved in a world filled with information scarcity. Today, you live in a world of information abundance. For most of human history, discovering something new required effort. You had to travel, explore, observe, take risks. Now your brain can receive novelty every few seconds. A new notification, a new message, a new video, a new headline, a new recommendation. Each one activates systems that originally evolved to help you survive. Neuroscientists often refer to dopamine as the brain's reward chemical. But that's not entirely accurate. Dopamine isn't really about pleasure. It's about anticipation. It's the chemical of maybe. Maybe there's food. Maybe there's danger. Maybe there's something important. Maybe there's something new. And nothing generates dopamine more effectively than uncertainty. This is why slot machines are addictive. Not because they pay out. Because they might pay out. The uncertainty keeps the system engaged. Now, think about social media. Every refresh is a slot machine pull. Maybe you'll see something interesting. Maybe someone liked your post. Maybe there's breaking news. Maybe there's something worth knowing. Your brain doesn't know it's looking at a screen. It responds the same way it always has: searching, scanning, hunting. But here's the strangest part. The problem isn't simply that we're distracted. The problem is that we no longer experience boredom. For most of human history, boredom was unavoidable. You waited, you walked, you sat around fires, you stared at the sky, you had empty moments, and those empty moments served a purpose. Researchers studying the brain's default mode network have found that when your mind isn't focused on a specific task, it often turns inward. You reflect, you imagine, you process memories, you make connections. Some of the brain's most important work happens during these periods, but modern life has become remarkably efficient at eliminating them. Waiting in line, check your phone. Riding an elevator, check your phone. Standing at a crosswalk, check your phone. Every tiny gap in attention gets filled. And over time, something changes. The brain begins expecting constant stimulation. Silence starts feeling uncomfortable. Stillness starts feeling unnatural. Not because there's something wrong with you, because your brain is adapting to the environment you've given it, the same way it always has. And yet this creates a strange paradox. We have more entertainment than any humans in history, more information, more stimulation, more novelty. And at the same time, many people report feeling less focused than ever. Why? Because attention works like a muscle. The more often it's interrupted, the harder sustained focus becomes. Imagine trying to read a book while someone taps you on the shoulder every 30 seconds. Eventually, reading becomes exhausting. Now imagine that shoulder tap happening hundreds of times every day. Notifications, emails, messages, alerts, recommendations. The modern attention economy is built on interruption, and your ancient brain was never designed to defend itself against that scale of stimulation. For hundreds of thousands of years, there simply wasn't enough information in the environment to create this problem. Now there is, which brings us to a deeper question. What happens if this continues? Some researchers worry we're entering a world where uninterrupted thought becomes increasingly rare. Not because people are incapable of it, because opportunities for it keep disappearing. The ability to sit quietly, reflect, think deeply, focus on one thing. These skills were once automatic, now they require deliberate effort. And perhaps that's the real lesson. The story isn't that modern. Humans suddenly became weak, or lazy, or distracted. The story is that we built a world that perfectly targets instincts that evolved under completely different conditions. The same curiosity that helped your ancestors survive now keeps you refreshing a feed. The same vigilance that once detected predators now detects notifications. The same hunger for new information that helped humans explore the world now keeps us endlessly scrolling through it. Technology didn't create these instincts, evolution did. Technology simply found them, and that's what makes this problem so difficult. Because you can't solve it by fighting your humanity, you have to understand it. For hundreds of thousands of years, your ancestors lived in environments where information was scarce and attention was precious. Today, information is unlimited, and attention has become the scarce resource. The environment flipped, your brain didn't. And maybe that's why so many people feel like something is off, not because they're broken, not because they're weak, but because the instincts that once helped humans survive are now being activated thousands of times every day by systems they were never designed to encounter. For most of history, the challenge was finding enough stimulation. Today, the challenge is escaping it. And somewhere inside your head, a brain shaped by ancient campfires, open savannas, and endless horizons is still trying to adapt. The question is whether it can.